That's weird.
Hi guys. I've been waiting to do that. Hi guys, and welcome to Obi Dave Reacts. I am Ash, and this is Dave. We are here to entertain you. I'm quoting a certain theme song that I made up, but Dave ruined the deedly deedly dee part just a moment ago in another video.
You can't have a theme tune and sing it within the first minute of a video and have the word diddle in it.
It's deedly dee. It's like,
Whatever you need to tell yourself to sleep at night.
It's also like that song from The Sound of Music when they go, what's it?
Do, re, mi,
do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, da. Exactly.
Cappuccino,
so it's like that. Cappuccino.
And a mocha. That was terrible. That was absolutely awful. Theo Vaughn is a comedian.
Is he the one that was in the worst and the best comedians things?
The Sonny B2.
He's not the one who calls everybody poor.
No, it's Tom Segura. No, it's not him.
I was going to say, I'm going to
Theo Vaughn is universally loved. He is absolutely... For me, he was a better stand-up comic when he was not sober, we'll say. So like some of his earlier clips I think are funnier, but as a podcast host and as a person and a personality, he's an absolute genius. He's just such a funny guy, such a kind-hearted person. But the more recent stand-up I've seen, I've not enjoyed as much. But there's the problem is when you listen to his podcast, some of the premises are worked out on the podcast and then go on to
become the story.
Yeah, and then like when he does a comedy bit and you're like, I know what you're going to say.
Okay.
And a few comics have done that recently, where you know what they're going to say because it's something from the podcast that they've developed into a bit.
Yeah, I get
It's one of the downsides of podcasts, but I listen to Theo Vaughn's podcast quite a lot.
Okay.
He's a cool guy. But yeah, this is Theo Vaughn's funniest moments.
Sweet. Okay.
Got a very obscure mind. I've not pre-checked this compilation, by the way, so hopefully it's good. Yeah. Yeah, are you ready?
Feeling old.
You don't look it. You look great.
Thanks. It's alright, I still feel 34. I completely miscounted my birthday, by the way. I think 2 years.
You feel 34. Double D to me.
Oh, nice.
Right.
Thanks. You actually got that spot on.
I know my boobs. Right then, Theo Vaughn, funniest moment. Are you ready?
I think so.
I've got a bizarre knack for guessing cup sizes. I really do.
It's surprisingly so. That was very accurate.
Well, bees are dying too.
Yeah.
Bees are dying from the heat.
Is it the heat?
Yep. They're evaporating, they ejaculate, and their whole body blows up.
Is that real?
Bring it up, Jamie. I'm going to fucking do something in here today.
Look at this. At temperatures over 107 degrees Fahrenheit, it is estimated that half of male honeybees will die in this manner within 6 hours. With more sensitive individuals dying after only 2 or 3 hours.
The headline is the manner there.
Oh, bees ejaculating themselves to death in heat waves.
Fuck yeah, baby.
Oh my God, you're telling the
baby.
truth. I thought he was just
Spring
making
break.
shit up. Click on that.
Hell no, dude. This is in, I'm sure. This is in Panama City Beach, Florida.
Bees, click on that link. What happened?
This is Kid Rock's honey. That's who's making this shit. That is for sure if it's got semen in it.
Dude, we had this pedophile dude in our town, right? Big Richard. You don't say. He used to bait us all with autographed Shaquille O'Neal stuff to come and spend
How
time.
did he get that? How did he get that? Were they fake?
I don't know if they were fake. We were, we'd never seen anything signed by Shaq. We were so excited.
Obviously, they were fake.
Well, it could have been a conspiracy, like he was working directly with the Orlando Magic at the time.
Shut up.
I mean, you never know.
Big Richard dude, and I
What are
remember
you talking about? You said he baited you. What did you do with this bait?
he would like show, we used to go by his house and get stoned. He was a substitute teacher, right? And he was also 78 years old.
Was there any real teachers?
Way too old.
Is there any real, like, were they all just like part-time teachers? Part-time should be in jail? Like, what the fuck is happening right now?
I'm gonna do my Andrew Souls impersonation. No, man, I'll tell you, bro. There's had a lot of perv, dude. It's the bottom of where the Mississippi ends, man. It's where that it's very silty alluvial soil down there.
Oh dear.
So Big Richard, bro, he invited us over, right? So I go over there and smoke. He invited me and my girlfriend over. We met him at church, right? So I was like, oh, this is Big Richard. who teaches us science sometimes, right? Yeah. And my girlfriend's like, what? And she couldn't turn her neck that good, actually, I remember. But she had, I think, early, what's it called when you get like stiffness in your back?
Like arthritis.
Yeah.
Early onset arthritis.
Childhood
EOA,
arthritis
EOA.
or something. Yeah.
Wow.
So she would always be like that, you know?
Yeah. Oh, you made it like Thriller, Michael Jackson.
Yeah. So me and her though went over to Big Richard's, bro. So next time he said, well, why don't you just come next time and watch a football? I said, okay, Big Richard, I'll come over. So I go over there. He breaks out some weed, right? I'm like, I smoke weed. You know, I'm a child. I smoke it. So next thing you know, we're puffing out, you know, getting gassed out with Big Richard, baby. And he told me, bring your buddies over, bring your buddies. So now me and all my buddies are over there. And then he took us to a Marilyn Manson concert, bro. Like somehow he knew somebody or whatever. He gets us, we're 16 years old. We're at Marilyn Manson.
Nice.
Like, we're fucking living our dream.
Yeah.
So one time we're over there eating steaks at his house, and my buddy Scotty is in the other room, and I went in the kitchen to get something. And Scotty yelled at me. He goes, hey, man, can you get me some sour cream? Because that had a baked potato come with a side item.
Sure.
He goes, hey, can you get me some sour cream? And I said, no, but you can have some of this sweet cream. I was joking.
Yeah.
Semen.
Thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah. So Big Richard's in the other room, bro, and I hear him go, can I have some? And that's when all of our brains were just like, whoa.
Oh, no.
Bro, you could feel all fucking four of us that were
it all
over there.
started to connect. Oh, my God.
And we're like, what are we in? We are high. So then it
You were
became
on a
like,
date, by the way. If you went to that and then afterwards at steak, you were on a date.
we didn't think of it, man. That's how
Oh, my
pedophiles
God.
get you, man, because you don't think it's a thing. You don't think it's a date. You think it's just eating steak with a man.
When did he bring the Shaq cards out?
So then after that, it started getting like, I'll take one of y'all to Vegas if you want to go. Just big offers, you know. And I mean, we're just a small town, so it's like, dude, you want to go to Vegas? We'd never even heard, we'd seen maybe a drawing of Vegas or somebody scream it or somebody, yelling it while they're beating their wife or whatever, But we'd never been to Las Vegas. So everybody, buddy of mine took a trip with him out there.
Somebody told me Black Guys Come has music.
They're just going to stop there, like my buddy went on a trip on him and then just end. It's just like...
His stories, like, there's a lot of debate about whether or not
They're real
any
or
of
not.
it is true. But then there's also people who've verified some of the stuff he talks about.
Jesus. Maybe
But
it's a mix of things. Maybe some of it's true and some of it's not. And because he's got it going, he's just like, I'm just going to keep this going.
I think he greatly embellishes things, but his mind goes to a place that other people's minds don't go when he's telling stories. And there's just some such obscure, off-the-cuff references that he comes out with that you're just like, what are you on about?
It's like, why did his girlfriend have early onset, like, arthritis at 16? I don't even think I've heard of that before.
They're the sort of obscure things because
It's
that's
just
based
so
off.
bizarre.
He just turned his neck funny, and
Obviously got like a twinge and then
for,
just went like,
yeah.
oh, well, she couldn't really turn. I remember that. And then it's Thriller.
He's got such a unique mind. I don't think there's many people that are truly unique in their style of comedy, in their delivery. There's styles to it that people can learn and stuff, but he's like
just random.
Theo Vaughn. It's kind of like the Ren of comedy, because
nice.
Ren just makes Ren music.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
It's that sort of thing.
I like it.
So everybody, buddy of mine took a trip with him.
Somebody told me Black Guys Come has music in it. Have you heard that? Yeah. Jazz.
Somebody
It's like jazz, blues kind of a thing, yeah. It's like Thelonious Monk. Yeah, that's what it
dude.
is, yeah.
It's got a little Leon Bridges in the
and it's
back.
thicker, too, 'cause I've tasted it. It's thicker. But, yeah, it's a thick, good stuff. Well, it was a fat black guy, so maybe that's fat black guys have thicker cum.
Oh, I'm sure they do, dude. Even just by looking at them, they're not...
Yeah. It's got diabetes in it for sure.
Well, they're definitely throwing a creme,
Yeah.
creme brulee, I got that I got a good upper medium dick, man.
Yeah.
I got
Upper medium is
I got that candy corn. My shit built like a candy corn. Pull up a candy corn, Zach.
Yeah, bro, I'm gonna get you up on game,
so
baby.
it start big, go down smaller.
No.
It's the opposite.
That's exactly how it's shaped, just like that candy corn. Come on, get me a candy corn, man.
Yeah, take that one.
That poor little kid.
I know. Look at that one.
Like that, baby.
Yeah. All right. So
Like my shit's shaped like the piece that lands back on Earth after the shuttle goes up. You know what I'm saying, bro?
does that work out good though? Like, because some girls, some girls enjoy different cocks, man. That's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least the good thing about one
So
bet.
that's a chode. That's a chode.
No, mine is there's a second step.
I haven't heard that word in so long.
I say chode all the time.
You do not.
I call people chodes, I just don't call you a chode. So you don't hear me say it very often, but I say chode.
It's such a awful way to say it. Oh my god.
What are you thinking of this glimpse into Theo's weird mind so far?
He's brilliant, but it's so fucking weird.
His podcast's in
Oh my god.
it's in the millions of subs. Like he gets a lot of views and stuff. But it's just a lot of the time it's just him. Just monologuing, just coming out with weird stuff.
Jesus.
But at least, the good thing about one bet.
That's a chode. That's a chode.
No, mine is there's a second story to it. My shit ain't no.
Okay, I got a chode.
Dude, I heard you and that guy. They were talking about horse sex and the. When I pulled up in the lobby, I was like, "Oh, okay, this is my kind of place today." Dude, I saw in New Orleans one time they had a lot of the cops in the French Quarter on horseback.
Yeah.
And two of the horses started fucking with the cops on them, bro.
Were the cops getting mad?
One of them was.
Was the other one excited?
The one in the back, I think, was kind of fucking vibing with it a little, because at least he was in the winning position.
Right. You don't want to be the guy where the horse gets done fucking that horse and then he starts fucking you.
And we ate a bunch of shrooms out there and kind of commandeered this water table. There was a water table that had kind of been left unattended.
What is a water table?
Just a table with a bunch of cups
table
of water.
with waters on it. Okay.
So we got over there and people were running, they're going, and we started telling people that the water was for Asian people only, right? Bro, we are crying, laughing, because people are running. They can't stop. They're trying to make a time. So for some people, we'll be like, bro, it's Asians only. And it was like, why? And then Asian people were all excited, and we kept dousing them up. Dude, we were fucking... I would take pictures with, people, and I'd have my fucking nuts hanging out the whole time.
What?
Yeah, bro, we were out.
These are pictures of people with your nuts on. How old were you at the time?
I don't know, man. Probably 28. And people were like, hey, let's get a picture together. So we get it, and I just slip that bag out there, baby, that fucking gum holster. You know what I'm saying?
We had this one guy. He used to give us maybe $4 or something, and to look in his ass, bro. And he'd walk about like 20 feet off and hold his ass open. As long as we looked, we got the money. So just shit like that, just bored people.
Partner? Did he have who made sure you looked? How could he? Who made sure
you
got paid? That's what I want to know.
He gave the money first.
Okay, gotcha. Because that would be a shitty deal.
At a certain point, you were kind of grandfathered in. If he knew you were going to look, you kind of got the money up front.
Your grandfather did.
We had this brother at our school, bro, when we were in, I don't know what it was, 5th grade. This dude, Mr. Larry, right? He ended up being a janitor. He would come and pee over you into the fucking urinal and hit that bitch every time, bro.
How?
Huh?
Was he hung or just like good aim?
He was hung and he just had that hang time on him. He had that fucking... He just hit them 3-pointers, dog.
That's impressive. Wow.
Yeah.
Good for that guy.
Because you didn't know you'd be peeing, and then all of a sudden you'd see that. It almost seemed like the Lord came and was help. He was like, "This is how it's done," He'd be right on your back. He'd go right up your back and come right down. He was like the damn. Who was that guy who scaled that mountain or whatever? You know what I'm talking about? Solo.
100%.
Oh, dude, I'll tell you this. So, somebody got a CB radio by us, So this one lady that used to do substitute teaching, right? Her son his mouth was always real slippery. He had like a kind of a salivary deal.
Disorder.
I wouldn't say disorder. Okay. But he had like
That's a deal.
he was missing a gasket on one of the edges. I would say that.
Just leaking.
Yeah, he definitely, yeah. Like you wouldn't fucking, if he leaned his head to one side, dude, you're gonna have to dry him up, you know? So this fella one time named Michael was his name. And he, so anyway, his mom would hook up with his boy Clint, like Clip, but with an N in it. Was how he said his name. When people were like Clint, like Clip with an N in it. We're like, that's a way to do it. Anyway, so his mom would make us stay out in his car when she would come over and they would hook up in the house. So he had a CB radio, right? So he was 16. He's in there hooking up with the teacher. We'd be on the CB on the ham radio, just kirk, 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 pigeon to fucking hospital or whatever, you know, and so some dude comes off the interstate, right, one day in a semi-truck into our neighborhood. This guy ended up being a pedophile. We didn't know. Me and fucking lip Michael were in his truck. He fucking making us eat Tootsie Rolls inside of his truck, right? The guy who's inside with Michael's mom comes out, sees what's going on, and beats the shit out of the dude, man.
Oh my God. Wait, the dude is feeding you candy?
Tootsie Rolls.
Doing how much Tootsie Rolls we could fit in our mouths. And we didn't know.
Was it like a test?
You ate the candy.
I didn't. I mean, I had probably 4 in my mouth. I had a small mouth.
Oh, no. How many was in his mouth?
I don't have a small mouth, but I have always had a small throat, so I'm afraid to have a lot in my mouth at once.
Dude, I remember when I was young, the first fella I even ever met.
It's got so many stories about pedos.
He's so many. But it's the way he's so serious. He just goes, well, I've got a really small throat, so I don't like to have a lot of stuff in my mouth.
Yeah. Just his way with words and his sort of train of thought is just obscure, isn't it?
He's so smart because, like you're saying, like you can't tell if he's being serious or he's joking or if it is just a bit. And it's just the way he makes it flow, like even with someone else to be like laughing and go, oh, what do you mean small mouth? How many do you get it? And he goes like, go serious. He goes, no, I've got a small throat. I can't have too much in my mouth.
I've got a pedo story, but I can't articulate it in the same way as Theo Vaughan, so it's not going to be anywhere near as funny. It's dark, in fact. But the local ice cream man of the park near the house that I grew up in, when I was about...
Oh, no, you told me that story.
But yeah, like I think I was 13 and one of my mates was 12. And it was just when I was starting to get into smoking weed when I was 13. I was just like, knew a couple of older guys that were dealers, and like every other weekend I'd buy a little 10 bag or whatever. And he was like, I've got some weed for you. Me and my mate went to his ice cream van and he pulls out this pre-rolled massive spliff. And he's like, it's squidgy black, which is like a form of resin.
Okay.
It's like, it's a legitimate thing, but, who knows what was in it. And we smoked a bit of it, both of us. And that park was, I don't know, like a sixth of a mile away from my house, something like that. And I had to be home for food at 6 o'clock. I set off from the park at about 10 to 6, and it's a 2-minute walk. It took me about 45 minutes to get home. I had to keep sitting on the curb, and I could only walk about 3 steps at a time, 4 steps, and then sit back down. No, I wasn't pulling a whitey, I was drugged.
Oh.
And that was the time where my mate stayed behind with him smoking it, and then he like touched up my mate, ended up going to court and everything. Seriously, like
that's horrible.
I was supposed to go as a character witness, but I was like, I don't really know the guy. He didn't even go to prison either. He got banned. He got like an ASBO, so he was banned from the town. But seriously, like whatever was in that spliff, he fucking drugged us both.
That's awful.
I couldn't walk, and that was a point where I did smoke a little bit of weed. It wasn't like I just had a bit of weed and I was screwed up. It's local ice cream man pedo on the local park where all the kids are.
That's messed up.
Theo Vaughan would have told that story great, but I just say it as it is.
You just make it really dark.
It was dark though. That's the thing.
know, but you just brought the tone down.
Thank God I left to go for dinner though.
Jesus,
you know what I mean?
I know, love.
Throats, I'm afraid to have a lot in my mouth at once.
Dude, I remember when I was young, the first...
I always had a small throat, so I'm afraid to have a lot in my mouth at once.
Dude, I remember when I was young, the first fella I even ever masturbated to was a buddy who had big tits like that.
You smelled the cologne I had on when I came in there?
I don't know. You guys smelled good.
Yeah. I feel like you're so full of shit.
Nuh-uh. You guys smelled good, man.
For real?
Yeah,
What do we
dude.
smell like when we walk in?
Honestly, I usually think it's like a lot of deodorant.
Wow.
Bro,
Yeah, no, black people do wear a lot of deodorant.
love
though.
deodorant, bro. You'll see somebody start at the wrist.
we hammer
You'll see a motherfucker start at the wrist, bro, and put that shit on. Somebody put that shit on so slow, like, damn.
I could have
We
so
could have gone on
much
for
more
so.
of
I
that.
know it's really good.
There's other compilations. There's a channel called Joke World that do these compilations that they're always great clips. They're always well curated.
Yeah.
But the first Theo Vaughn Tried Not to Laugh is half an hour long. So that's why I queued up. I tried looking for a different one.
Okay, fair
But
enough.
that was great. A little introduction to Theo Vaughn's mind there.
I know. And then you made me feel really sad for you and your mate.
I didn't get molested.
No.
And it wasn't that the molestation wasn't that bad. It was.
I don't care. It's
it wasn't-
molestation either way.
It wasn't good, but it wasn't as bad as like. I think it was a preemptive test in the waters for next
Oh,
time.
dear
sort
God.
of deal.
Maybe Theo reacts to this and so he can maybe put a spin on it and make it funny.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to make it funny. I just wanted to ruin the mood.
You did. I didn't know whether to laugh or
That
be
same-
like, I'm so sorry.
That
or...
same park, when I was with some older guys, and not long after that, maybe I was 14 and I was hanging out with some of the guys that are like 18, 19, 20, that sort of thing. There used to be a hippo on the park that was like a, just kind of like a 5 foot, 4 foot tall hippo that kids could
like a
climb
wooden
on
carving.
and stuff like that. And they're just kind of a, like you get at a theme park, that sort of
Like a wooden carving, like a big
no,
wooden
not
statue.
wooden, no. But like, when they make things at a theme park and it's kind of hollow, but it's rigid. It's kind of like a plastic composite or whatever. Well, it doesn't matter what it was made of. But we saw a guy hiding behind it when there was kids around, like beating up. Seriously, and it's at a time where I was with, like I say, lots of the older guys.
I have been so sheltered my whole life. Like I suppose I didn't go to parks. Dad didn't take us to parks
No.
because it wasn't very safe.
But all the older guys I was with were like, let's fucking get him. And then everyone just legged it after this guy, and he managed to get his pants up. But the guys I was with were pretty rough, and they were like, if we get him, he's done for. And he managed to get away. Like, someone almost got him, and he got away.
You've had a wild childhood. Like, whenever Dave tells me stories, I'm so amazed because mine was so sheltered because it was pretty dangerous back home. Not terribly dangerous, but enough for my parents to be like, you ain't going nowhere without somebody with you, and you don't leave the property, and things like that. And it was just
I grew up somewhere nice, but a lot of it's famous for loads of people that work for the BBC living there,
Yeah.
and lots of BBC pedos have now come out. Some of them lived in the town I grew up in.
Jesus.
And seriously, and people used to come to that town to cause trouble because they thought it was full of rich kids, which it wasn't. It was just normal kids, but a nice area.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some rich kids, but they're kind of further out in a different
Right.
town. And you'd get like groups of like 15 lads come from another place just to go and rob everyone there because they thought they'd have loads of money.
Jesus. If I had known all of this, I wouldn't have come to England.
That was
I'll
a
go back
nice area.
home.
That's a nice area as well.
Oh, Jesus. I mean,
Anyway.
it was pretty rough in Zimbabwe, but I got very sheltered. There were some things I wish I hadn't seen, and I won't go into, but not like that. Like, there was no way my parents would let... Like, the most naughty things we did as a teenager was my dad... The only place he could drink in this one town we lived in was called Marandera, was a golf club, and it was called the Golf Shack. It was nothing else for miles. It was just farmland. It was just farm people. And I say farm people, like it's farm workers and farmers and things. And so Dad would always go there and take me and my sister. And there was like 5 other kids our age in the whole town. And we'd all go sit on the first hole because it was the only place we could get far enough away from the parents without them being concerned about us going too far.
It's
Or sit in the
I mean, you
squash
could get
courts.
eaten by a lion where you grew up, though, couldn't you?
No. They
Killed
just
by a hippo?
wander around the town. No,
Bitten by a crocodile, alligator,
not unless you went to Kariba or Wangi or...
bitten by a mosquito and get malaria.
Well, that had happened to me, yeah. That sucked.
That's what they do. Right then, cheers for that one, guys. That was terrible. I'm on fire with the terrible jokes today.
Dad joke central.
If you're around the age of 13 to 16, 17, stay safe out there.
Yeah, seriously.
Don't hang out with creepy older men.
Yeah.
It's just not
for
good.
any gifts at all.
Make sure you like and subscribe as always.
Yes.
I have a feeling this one's going to get age restricted because the amount of times we've said pedo, but it is what it is.
Probably.
Yeah, and we'll see you soon.
Bye, guys.